My wife cheated while I was in the Army. I was just a guy, a regular Joe from a small town in Michigan. I had dreams and aspirations like anyone else. But when I looked into the green eyes of my high school sweetheart, Mary, my dreams began to revolve around her. We were young when we had our first child. The responsibility hit me hard. I had mouths to feed, dreams to nurture, and aspirations to uphold. So, I did what any man wanting to protect his family would do. I enlisted in the Army. I saw the Army as a lifeline, a way out of our struggles, a chance at a better future. The night before I left, I held Mary close, whispering promises of a grand future. Our daughter, little Ella, snuggled between us, her tiny heart oblivious to the impending separation. Fast forward through the grueling days and nights of boot camp, the uncertainty of deployment, and the many cold nights spent under foreign skies. I'd been away for 2 years. Every day, I envisioned my family. They were my beacon of hope, my reason to survive the despair of war. But little did I know, things were changing back home. One day, I received my discharge papers. The news of going back home felt like a rush of warm sunlight after a harsh winter. I planned a surprise return. A romantic dinner for Mary and a new teddy for Ella were part of the agenda. When I landed in Michigan, the familiar scent of pine and damp earth flooded my senses. I got into a rental and drove straight home. The anticipation of the surprise, the image of Mary's shocked face, and Ella's delighted squeals kept a smile on my face throughout the journey. But the happiness quickly turned into a nightmare. As I parked in front of our white picket fence, I noticed a strange car in the driveway. My heart dropped. I shoved away the nagging feeling, reminding myself that Mary could have friends over. Walking quietly into the house, I navigated through the familiar space, the anticipation now mixed with anxiety. Then I heard it, soft whispers from our bedroom, the rhythmic creaking of our bed. My heartbeat echoed in my ears as I crept closer. The door was slightly ajar, the sliver of view enough to shatter my world. There was Mary, beneath a man I'd never seen, their naked bodies entwined. Rage blinded me. My world crumbled, my heart crushed under the weight of betrayal. I'd been fighting battles on the other side of the world while a different war was being waged in my own bed. I burst through the door, my shouts echoing through the house. The stranger jumped off Mary, his face white with fear. Mary cried out, scrambling for the covers. "Who the hell are you? Get out of my house!" I roared, advancing on the man. He stumbled, tripping over his discarded clothes in his hurry to get away. I landed a few solid hits, venting my anger, my pain on his cowering form. I didn't stop until he'd scrambled out of my house, half naked and whimpering. I turned to Mary. She sat on the bed, wrapped in a sheet, tears streaming down her face. "How could you, Mary?" I asked, my voice choked with hurt. She sobbed, but I felt no sympathy. I was too full of rage and betrayal. I was lonely, John. She stammered. "You were gone, and what?" I snapped. "You thought you'd replace me." I knew then I had to sever the strings that tied me to her. For Ella, and for my own sanity. I couldn't let this betrayal define me. "Pack your things, Mary," I said, my voice cold. She flinched as if I'd slapped her. "I want you out." "But, John, No." I cut her off. No excuses. No apologies. Just leave. And she did. In the empty silence that followed, I felt a profound sadness seeping into the corners of my heart. But along with the sorrow, there was also relief, a sense of liberation from a love that had turned out to be less than what I had believed. The days turned into weeks. I explained to Ella that her mother would be living elsewhere, painting a picture of an extended vacation to make it easier for her little heart to understand. I became both mother and father to her. I cleaned and cooked, helped her with homework, read her bedtime stories, and tucked her in every night. Eventually, the pain dulled, but the betrayal left its mark. I was hesitant to trust, to open my heart. It took time, but I managed to move on, focusing on raising Ella and rebuilding my life. My story isn't unique. There are many men and women out there who, like me, trusted their partners only to be betrayed. It's a harsh reality, but one that has shaped me into who I am today. I've learned that loyalty isn't guaranteed just because you're willing to make sacrifices. I've learned to be stronger, wiser, and above all, to love myself first. Despite my experience, I'm not bitter. Life has its way of teaching lessons. I served my country, but the hardest battle I fought was against the betrayal of the one I loved. In the end, I've realized that sometimes the wars we wage on personal fronts leave us with deeper scars than any battlefield. And so, I march on, carrying these scars as badges of honor, a testament to the battles I've fought and survived. As for Mary, I hope she finds happiness, truly. For me, my heart beats for my daughter and the promise of better days. After all, this is the life of a soldier, forever marching on. Well, that is just super sad. What do you think? How would you have responded if this happened to you? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.